We're in the last month of the season, and the spring anime season of 2023 has been an absolute killer one. However, it has been seriously overshadowed by two very colossal shows, which are the obvious Oshinoko and Demon Slayer, and I've got to say rightly so, they have been amazing. Today I want to talk about some of the hidden gems that I think you should definitely get watching if you haven't already, as it would be a shame to see them not get any love that they deserve. I'm not going to talk about Hell's Paradise, Heavenly Delusion, or Raeliana, as I feel like they're obvious ones, and I do want to make other videos for them before the season ends. So here are my picks for the shows that you need not miss out on. First up, we have I Got a Cheat Skill in Another World and Became Unrivaled in the Real World too. This show is absolutely brilliant, man. Like, the main protagonist Yuya gains entrance to a fantasy world where he levels up, learns new skills, and goes from being like the ugly bullied kid to the most handsome mother F the world has ever seen, and thus everyone, and I mean everyone, wants a piece of him. The catch to this show is that everything he gains in the fantasy world, he brings back to the real world too, which is a really cool twist on the genre, and it's honestly just insane what situations he gets wrapped up in now. I seriously feel like this is the author's power fantasy about what he wants to happen to him, and I'm really here for it. Like, I get so freaking excited about this every week just to see how ridiculous a situation Yuya finds himself in. Like, one week recently, our guy saves his entire class and a teacher that's a little too into him, but that's not the case here. Anyway, he saves them all by fighting a bear. Yes, a freaking bear. It was beautiful. Beautiful, man. The show also boasts a boatload of waifu, and it's definitely been exploring a more ecchi side as of late. So if you're into that kind of thing, get on this one. Next up is arguably my favorite gem of the season in My Love Story with Yamatican at level 999, which interestingly has its title arranged differently in other mediums. Like, I think in the manga it's My Level 999 Story with Yamatican, if I remember that rightly. Like, dumb info, but that was on my mind. Anyway, Yamatican is such a warm, feel-good story about our main girl, Akane, who gets dumped by her boyfriend, but through an online MMORPG that they used to play together, she finds her next love interest in Yamada, who is this like pro gamer and pretty famous for it. They're a really cool contrast, and this romance slice of life anime plays out their story perfectly. Akane is this really bubbly, wears her heart on her sleeve kind of girl, whereas Yamada is quiet, mysterious, and yeah, definitely clueless when it comes to girls and romance. The show is just so good in that you feel really connected to its characters. The comedy aspect is great with so many funny facial expressions on show, and yeah, it just really loves to do these like slow pans during like the romantic and emotional moments. It just emphasizes everything, and I love it so much. I'm here for all of that. Like, for me, a lot of the big shows this season are full on gloomy, like dark, and they're full of moments of despair. And for me, Yamada-kun is the perfect little escape from that to prepare us all for the next batch of the big show's episodes the following week. So if you need that escape, Yamada-kun, my friend. Next up, we have a show that gets me so insanely hyped, it's not even funny. The show is none other than the legendary Mashle. Mashle is a freaking sick anime that is constantly making fun of itself, and I really love a show that knows that it's silly and plays on that to its full potential. And I'm sure you've heard that Mashle is basically a mashup of, no pun intended there, One Punch Man, Black Clover, and Harry Potter. And seriously, the Harry Potter inspiration is incredibly strong in this show. But it is dead on that. So basically, our main protagonist is Mash, who is this magicless guy who is born into a world where magic is literally everything. He enrolls at a magic school with the sole purpose of becoming the best student, but how's he gonna do this with no magic, I hear you ask? Well, in Mash's case, he has trained the physical element of his body to the absolute extremes. This guy is literally as OP as they come when it comes to his physical strength. Mashle's just so hype in the way that Mash is put in a situation where he has to either use magic to succeed or is in a fight against a powerful opponent. And you're desperately trying to work out how he's going to overcome this without being able to use magic himself. And he just does it in the most gobsmacking, over-the-top, ridiculous way. And I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I literally get so damn excited for this every Friday as I sit down to watch and I'm like, what is Mash going to be up against this week? And I've got to say, if you want a show that's silly with really great comedy and a character who's just stupidly OP, then my friends, Mashle is the show for you. Skip and Loafer, man. Skip and freaking Loafer. This show is so damn adorable. I have all of the time in the entire world for this beautiful show. Like, never have I ever watched a show and found a character that just makes me feel so stupidly happy by them just being them. The character I'm talking about is the protagonist, Mitsumi. Like, she is brilliant, man, and just a breath of fresh air. She's this, like, adorable little ball of awesomeness. Like, I don't know why she makes me so happy. It's like the mannerisms and, like, how pure of heart she is. She's brilliant. Like, you'll never come across a more simple character than Mitsumi, but it's her simplicity which is absolutely brilliant, and I just love her, man. So, she basically comes from a very, very small countryside town, but has moved to the big city of Tokyo to attend a prestigious high school, and here she meets a new group of friends and of course a love interest in Shima. Now, Shima is the nicest guy you'll ever meet, but he's very quiet about his true feelings and whatnot, whereas Mitsumi is very outgoing as a person, and you just find yourself rooting for her so hard. Honestly, if you need a show that you can just sit back and just enjoy, a show that makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside as well as hitting you with some emotional moments, then please get your eyes on Skip and Loafer. You can thank me later. Okay, got a real treat for you here with the Cafe Terrace and its goddesses. This show appears to be this ecchi harem show, and it kind of pretty much is. And it's one of the reasons I love it so much. However, my degenerate needs aside, what's hiding beneath that aspect of it all is a show that really does have a good story behind it. So we follow Hayato, who has taken over his grandmother's coffee shop, and along with it, 5 of the world's most gorgeous girls. We have Riho, Oka, Ami, Akane, and Shiragiku. These girls all have their own wicked individual personalities, their own stories and demons they're facing, and are all as fine as they come. The beauty of the show is obviously how they all come to get closer to Hayato over the course of the story, and it has this whole kind of quintessential quintuplets vibe to it. I think that for me, that basically sums how the dynamic between these characters work. And I gotta say, this show has a real bunch of pros going for it in that it's a story that's actually really good. The comedy aspect of it is of course on point, and it does a real killer job of making you feel connected to each of its characters in one way or another. And yeah, it does have the whole ecchi thing going down, so if you love a little bit of fan service, then this, my friend, is the show for you. So make sure not to miss out on this one this spring anime season. Final show for you boys and girls. I would describe this one as probably the wild card on the list. So the show in question is Yuri Is My Job. Now, some of you will know I'm somewhat of a connoisseur of the Yuri genre, and not just for the reasons you're currently thinking and judging me for, so get your dirty minds out the gutter. I'm a pure of heart man. This one basically follows a girl called Hime who is obsessed with how people perceive her and that everyone must like her no matter what. She's like this angelic person who is sweet and innocent, but this personality of hers is all basically a lie, or a facade as she calls it. Now, she does this all for her own selfish gain of one day marrying a rich suitor and to get others around her to do favors for her. However, this all starts falling apart as she ends up working as a waitress at this cafe. This cafe also has this kind of cosplay theatre-esque theme where all the girls working there are all pretend fictional characters in an all-girls boarding school. Now, you'd think this kind of sounds perfect for Hime as she gets to pull out her facade to its limits. However, there is also another waitress there that knows the truth about Hime, so we have this tasty little plot twist there. Now, this one's definitely tame when it comes to the Yuri aspect, but it kills it with how it builds the difficult relationships that are like building around all the group of girls. Now, I know this show won't be for everyone, but if you're after a show that's got a real kind of chill pace to it and kind of interesting premise, then this show is definitely worth a shot. Which shows do you think are the true hidden gems of this spring anime season? Let me know your recommendations in the comment section below. And while you wait for the next video to drop, make sure to check out this video where I talk about Skip and Loafer in a lot more detail. Definitely don't want to miss that one. But guys, that is it from me. I will see you soon. Take care of yourselves till then. Peace, peace.